Amazing! Come on, man!
Understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am JLP Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. It is Friday again. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's very interesting, and a doozy, and the responses that I've been getting about this particular biblical question is very interesting. It's very, very, mamma mia, hola, sí, señor. Very interesting. Amazing. Why do you carry out the works of the flesh? Why do you carry out the works of the flesh? That is the biblical question. It's amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JLPeterson.com/show. JLPeterson.com/show. And you're busy. People work. Some people have a job. Everybody's not on welfare. Everybody's not relying on the government. Most of them, not everybody. So if you're working or you're out and about doing whatever it is you're doing, and you're not able to sit and watch the show live, you can podcast, but you can be listening no matter what, no matter where you are or what you're doing, by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-613-4131. That's 605-615-4131. That's on TalkStream Live, and you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad. 605-615-4131. All right? Amazing. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right? So, it is Friday. Already. Again. It's amazing how this Friday is here already.
What the?
A friend of mine got married last Saturday, and it was like, already it's a week. Isn't that amazing?
What the?
Next time you look around, they're going to be old with grandchildren. Amazing. Isaac Palmer and now Rebecca Palmer. Congratulations to them. I was supposed to be at the wedding, but I had to have eye surgery that day. But congratulations. I wish them well. I think they're going to be fine. If they continue the way they're going, they're going to be fine. Amazing. And Isaac did it the right way. Amazing. Had a nice job, right? Had a job, got a job. Bought him a home, got everything right before he got married, and brought the woman into his world. He did not go into her world. That is so unusual and rare now that it's not even funny. But in the good old days, when men got married, they would have a job, They didn't have to have a stupid degree. They just had a job. They were able to provide, right? They bought a house around 25 or so. They bought themselves a home. That's how Isaac did it. Bought a home. I think he's around 25, or he bought the home around 25, 26. Then he got married and brought the woman into his world and not go into her world. Because when you go into the woman's world, all you're going to catch is hell. Look at the men, the males who have gone into the woman's world. They live in her house. They ride on the passenger side of her car. They stay home and be house mama, house wife, whatever they call them. They're catching hell. It's not going to work that way. It can't work that way. It's not meant to work that way. It ain't going to work that way. So congratulations to Isaac Palmer and now Mrs. Rebecca Palmer. Amazing. But anyway, it's Friday. And Friday, every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. It's just open line, Get It Off Your Chest Friday, right? Every Friday is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
You or someone you love has been a victim of a porch pirate. That package that you're so excited about just gone off your stoop before you can even open it. And it's hard to believe, but these porch pirates are getting even more brazen.
Governor Moore would be forgiving marijuana-related charges for roughly 100,000 people.
Our country is not the same anymore.
Our 5-year anniversary, and today I wanted to share my husband's reaction to seeing my face for the first time.
Let go! It is not the same anymore, Gary.
This is the 16th year of this Juneteenth event here in the city of Round Rock.
We grieve with the families who have lost loved ones and stand with those who were injured.
It's not even the same neighborhood anymore. We've seen a lot of unscooped poop on the Strand in the South Bay.
Dog owners should know the number 1 rule. Pick up those number 2.
Hey, your dog's been shit all over the carpet.
Wow. Amazing, huh? What a mess. I want my country back. That's an amazing video. Thank you, Anchor Baby. What a mess.
Amazing.
What a mess. Human nature, human beings. Human nature, human beings are wicked. When you wake up, and some of you are, a few of you are, only a handful. Some of you think that you are waking up and you're not. Some of you get on the path to waking up and you get off. But a handful, just a handful, get on that path, and if it takes a lifetime, they stay there. And that's what you want to do. Commit to stand on that path a lifetime. A lifetime. Human nature is evil. It's evil. And human nature has no love. Nobody love nobody. Your family don't love you. You don't love them. Nobody love you. Ain't no such thing. She's up there letting her dog take number 2 in the airport. And the person's complained about it. She gives them the finger and walk away. It appears that she walked away from it. I don't know how she finally in it. Would you ever do that with your dog, Hassan? In the airport, let him dump in the airport and not clean it up?
Well, I plead the fifth on this because I've had a few incidences like that.
Inside the airport?
Not the airport, but I've been, I don't want to dox the locations, as
Right.
Hake would say, but
Yeah, don't do that. But just say you've been in a store or wherever it was.
I've been in some really nice outdoor malls.
And your dog used the bathroom in the mall and you didn't pick it up?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was embarrassing.
But why did I pick it up then?
You know, because then you're drawing more attention to the whole situation. Sometimes you just got to keep it moving.
But how were you able to walk away from it without feeling like, you know what, that's my responsibility?
No, I felt bad.
But you're not bad enough to clean it up?
No. Isn't that something?
Wow.
I know, it's disappointing. I'm disappointed.
I told you human nature is evil.
It's true. It's true.
Wow.
I know.
I'm surprised you said yes. I didn't think you would say yes to that.
I didn't either. And this time I'm not even trying to be funny or entertaining. This is actually shameful. I'm ashamed. Because if I saw someone do that, I'd give them the death penalty.
It's
People
awful.
like that should get the death penalty.
It's amazing.
If you throw stuff out of your car, you know, you see people just throw trash out of their window of their car. I'm like, who are you? But I do it.
Amazing. Okay. I want my country back. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. The Bible, I'm doing the quotation sign thing, Hake. The Bible says, Christ said, God said, human heart is evil. Salvation is of the heart. You change the heart, everything else will change. But the hardest thing is for a human being's heart to change because the individual will not admit that they are wrong. They have anger. They're judging. They're playing God. Amazing. There is this female by the name of Cori Bush. And Cori Bush is a so-called black representative. And she is a mess. She is the daughter of the devil. A real mess, too. But according to PBS, in a PBS interview, so-called Representative Cori Bush says she cured a homeless woman's tumor by putting her hands on them. Watch this.
You're a pastor.
Yes.
You write about healing through faith. At one point, you came across a woman with, quote, several visible tumors on her torso. Tell me what happened.
Tell me
so
what happened.
At that time, I, along with a group of friends, we would go out on the street and just meet with people and pray with people and offer them food. And this lady came to us and she had these tumors. I mean, she wanted us to like feel them. And I just remember I put my hand on her and my hand just began to move. And the lumps that were there were no longer there. And she was so happy and she like went on about her day. And I never saw her again.
So you think the tumors disappeared?
I do. And this woman was unhoused. She's someone who, you know, had been sleeping in the shelters and sleeping on the street.
Unhoused? Oh, man, everybody want to be a healer. Except baby Jessica's daddy. They should have asked Cori Bush right there, do you love white people? Do you love the Jews? Do you love white people? Do you love the Jews? Amazing. Unhoused. Homeless. I remember when they used to call homeless a bum on the street. And now then they changed it to homelessness. And now they try to call it unhoused. What the? That's how they've done with the word hatred. In the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, they would say, you hate your mother, you hate your father, you hate yourself, right? And it was strong, and it made the person look at themselves so that they can see and admit to themselves that they had hatred in their heart. Because anyone that has hatred is separated from good, from God. And then they say, oh, that word is too strong. Who want to say they hate their mama? It was okay as long as you said you hated your daddy, but who want to say you hate your mama? And they changed that word to resentment. You resent your mother? Well, after a while, resentment became too hard. And so they changed it to anger. Now they want to change that to something. Unhoused? What does unhoused don't mean? It doesn't mean a thing. Remember they used to call it a hobo. Who is in control or in charge of changing these words? Who is there like a head group somewhere? You should have asked Cori Bush about abortion. Since she's doing all that healing of the hand, the daughter of the devil. Don't blame Cori Bush. She was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. What a wicked woman. Wicked female. America, I've said it over and over again, so forgive me for saying it again. I never thought that I would see my country turn from amazing to trash, to a third world country. A third world country. I remember when we used to report on what was happening in Europe, and Europe allowed all these Allah Abba people to come in, and African people. And then as a result of all these people coming in, they were raping the white women. They were murdering white women. It was out of control. It probably still happening, I don't know. And then at that time, it wasn't happening here in America. Not that I was aware of. And I never imagined, because I would wonder, why are the police, the government in Europe bringing in these people into their country, and these people don't have the same standards that the Western world had. It doesn't have it anymore too either. But it doesn't have the same standard. But yet they were letting these people in by 1,000. And first thing they would do is rape white women. They didn't rape the black women, they were raping white women. And nothing was done about it. I never imagined that would happen in America. But lo and behold, our government opened our gates wide open and told these same people, y'all come on in now, come on down. We need votes. Y'all come on in. Anywhere, China, it doesn't matter. Allah country, they're even catching potential terror threat people, according to the report. They're letting these people in, and guess what they're doing? Raping white women. And in some cases, according to reports, killing them. Think about that. And the government doesn't care. They're not bringing back the police. They're not shipping these people back to their countries. And if they do, the people come right back across the border. Talk about a reprobate mind. This is crazy. According to Pix 11, migrant charged in rape of a 13-year-old girl in Queens Park. Watch this soundbite.
He a rapist. He don't care. He don't care that he hit.
He faced street justice when residents of this Corona neighborhood recognized him from this wanted poster. They knew he was a regular at this bodega, so they all got together and waited.
He will come to the store, buy his snacks and everything.
Late Monday night, Christian Giovanni Inga Landai's bodega run resulted in a beatdown.
He's right there. Look at him right there. We beat.
He got on him first and started hitting him. Girl that recorded was hitting him. He had him down. We all just basically retaliated for the 13-year-old little girl because it's not right what he did to her.
Daniel Ramos tells Pix 11 News it was all hands on deck. 6 to 10 of his friends sprung into action when they saw Landi. They say they confirmed it was him by pulling off his shirt. That's when they saw the distinctive tattoo on his chest. Outnumbered and taking a beating, first the 25-year-old migrant from Ecuador tried to run.
Amazing. Where are the police? No police, and people got to fight for themselves now. No police. No one cares. No love. Isn't that amazing? Remember when that wasn't happening in America? At one time, that was not happening, that I was aware of. Remember that? At one time, that was not happening in America, and now it's commonplace. It's not even unusual. It's hardly a shocking news report anymore. And just think about this. Yes, that guy is to blame for what he's done, been accused of doing. But the government is to blame for it. They let him in. They opened the gate, give them cell phones, catch them and release them in other parts of the country. They get them hotel rooms, 5-star hotels. They feed them. They get them money, free education, and they rape the white women. Or women, period, whatever color that woman was. Not sure. Now, do you believe me when I tell you that my country is over? Why can't you face that? It's over. And it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. I know you think, well, one day it'll get better. Even with the Great White Hope, and if he gets in, he can make it better as far as bring back the police, bring back jobs, cut out some of the restrictions and regulations that keep you from functioning in business, bring down the cut back on taxes and stuff, and then show that the world that he is back and America is somewhat strong again. Change the military. We got to change all the people in the military that are running it. But this is not, he's only going to be there 4 years if he gets in. And unless God brings somebody else along, I don't know anybody else that can do what the Great White Hope has proven that he can do. It may be out there. I'm sure out in the crowd of 1,000, you can find one. You can find one. Talking about a reprobate mind. According to Romans 8:5-7, those who live according to the flesh have their minds set on what the flesh desires. Those who live according to the flesh have their minds set on what the flesh desires. But those who live in accordance with the Spirit have their minds set on what the Spirit desires. The mind governed by the flesh is death. The mind governed by the flesh is death, but the mind governed by the Spirit is life and peace. Is life and peace. The mind governed by the flesh is hostile to God. It's hostile to God. It does not submit to God's laws, nor can it do so. That's deep. Nor can it do so. This stuff I've already shown you right now, does it seem like a mind of the Spirit or a reprobated mind? A mind that cannot submit to the laws of God. America is gone. And the unfortunate thing is, if I can use that word, the Z generation and most of the millennial generation and the generation after the Z generation, whatever that is, they won't even know that there was an amazing America at one time. I'm a witness to tell you that America at one time was amazing. When I was growing up, it was amazing. Freedom everywhere. Do what you want everywhere. You can be poor, rich, whatever you want to do. And I used to hear stories from older people that one day in the United States of America, there would be men and women living on the streets. I didn't know how that could happen. When I would hear those stories, it just sounded like the world would be over. And I didn't know how that could be possible. And now it is. Because of my country's gone. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Let me go to M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I, Mississippi. That's how you spell Mississippi. And talk to Erica out of Mississippi. Erica, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse. Hi.
How are you?
You're like, I'm doing wonderful, amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You remind me so much of my dad. It's incredible.
Incredible.
It is. You
That's what you are to me. Yeah. Oh, incredible, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sing to me, Jesse. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful voice. He's beautifully dark-skinned like you. He got that Seineke thing going on. And he always has something going on with his eye.
Are you sure I'm not your daddy?
I'm telling you, I said, I'm telling people, Jesse Peterson, he is my daddy. Because you're so much like him. And he used to give me this handkerchief, and I used to like dap his eye for him. I sure did. And it was just so normal. It was just so wonderful.
Well, I don't normally have a problem with my eyes. It's just this one time.
Yeah, but still, it just put me in the mind of that as well.
I see. Erica, hold on. Let me take a quick break. Hold on for a minute.
Go ahead. Take a break.
888-7753-773. A quick break. When I come back, it's Open Line Friday. We're going to get to your calls. Back in a moment. Amazing! I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Amazing! So today, at 9 a.m. this morning, the Hake report is coming up. You don't want to miss it. James Hake is on fire at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then from at 12, we do have, I didn't get a chance to tape a brand new episode of The Fallen State for this week. So what we're doing is we put together a compilation of the older shows. I think it's going to be fun. I think you're going to enjoy it. At 12 noon today, thefallenstate.tv. At 12 noon. It should be interesting. All right? Check it out. And then at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. At 4 on Fridays. Flying High. Not off pot. Not off fentanyl. Not off alcohol. But pure energy given to him by God. And I don't think, like on the weekend, he fly his plane around, right? He learned how to fly. And so, I don't think you see fights and doors falling off on his flights. At 4 p.m., check out the American Anchor Baby. All right? And support us on social media. Y'all know what to do, right? Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe. JLP Talk on X, and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. We're on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv, where Christ is King. Let me go quickly back to Erica, a first-time caller out of Mississippi. Erica, thanks for holding. Go ahead.
You're welcome. Well, my grievance today is I listen to your show every day, and I gain from it every day.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Oh, yes. I've forgiven my mother. I've forgiven my dad.
You went and told them?
This happens very early.
Nice.
Very early in life. Like the 80s was in my dad when I talked to my dad.
So you went and forgave your mother too?
And I forgave my mom in 2006, the summer of 2006, and she passed away that August.
Nice. You were able to forgive her for she. What did she say when you went and forgave her?
She totally understood. She said that she know that she was a hell mother to the first set of kids.
Yeah.
Because then 6 years went by and she had us in her geriatric years, her last 3 in her second marriage. Your
mother had a set of kids?
She had the first set with 4 of them for her first marriage. And then after that, 6 years later, from the second marriage is when she had her last 3.
Right on.
And I'm the middle child of the last 3.
Nice. Okay, well, good. Well, stay working on yourself.
And I learned the silent prayer through you because I thought that I had to say things and ask for things. And then I went into the Bible where I'm not a Bible thumper. It's just that listening to you made me say, okay, it's still okay to go to the Word and find something. So I'll go in there and like kind of find something just to say, oh my goodness, that is really true.
Yeah.
You have to go and forgive or that type of thing. So
Before
I really do
you
appreciate
enter into the kingdom, you must go and forgive.
And I know that I'm a different person and a changed person and a more loving person because I did have anger. My husband of 22 years came to me out of the blue and just said that, you know, I was having too many boys and he wanted some girls and he met a woman and he wanted to give that a chance. But I needed to put the paperwork in and get a divorce, and I hadn't worked or anything like that. I was a stay-at-home mom, you know, very traditional, so it really threw me for a loop.
So your husband left you for another woman so he could make girls?
Yes.
What the?
He said he didn't want a house full of niggas. Just.
Oh, don't use that word here.
I'm sorry, but that's what he said. I'm just repeating what he said.
Right,
I
but
just want to be open and
I'm
honest,
okay
but
with the word,
said.
but we can't say it on the radio.
What the?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part. I'm so sorry. I recant that.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just trying to be honest and let you know that that's what, you know, it broke my heart in a million pieces. And I went through that. And yes, I ended up tapping into anger.
So have you forgiven him for that?
Yes, I have forgiven him for that.
Did you tell him that?
I had a telephone conversation with him. I was in Grand Prairie, Texas, on a balcony. Had a conversation with him, and I let him know that I forgive him for abandoning us. I forgive him for how he failed us, and how after he did leave us, he still said it was the responsibility of his sons to keep in contact with him. Like, he totally, this was 10 years later, and
how? Last question about that. How does his son feel about him now?
Because of your show, I had the conversation with them, and I let them listen to one of your shows. I can't remember which one it was.
Right.
But it helped them. They sent text messages first, and then I let them listen to your show where you said you have to like be face to face or FaceTime, or you have to be more personable with it.
Yeah. If possible. Sometimes you can't do it that way because the other person don't want to meet with you. If you can't do it, then you have to do it by phone or whatever.
Yes, and that's what they ended up doing. They did it by phone. They were all in a group.
Right on.
They ganged up on him. And then he did say, don't blame your mom. He said it was him that left. I kind of left her in a lurch. You know, he said your mom hadn't worked or anything like that, and she was totally dependent on me. And for me to just cut her off like that was bad. He said, you got to commend her because that woman turned into a food pantry queen. I use all the female resources that's sadly out here. It's so sad that there's so many resources out here that can keep you lucrative as a single mama.
It is. It's evil. Yeah. It's pure evil.
And it's true. And when you said that, I said that is so true because I could have, if it wasn't for the father sending me a wonderful man a year later after the divorce, that now he took up the responsibility of me, but not my son. And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. And I get it because he's very helpful in my life, and by being helpful in my life, he's still helpful in all of our lives type of thing.
Right on.
They get along. Everything is great, and I appreciate it. But my grievance is this. Why do the black males who call in to talk to you, why are they so challenging to you? Why are they so worked up and angry and combative? What is that? Like, I want to see them be more on your...
Well, because they can't see. They don't understand that their hearts need to change, that they're angry and resent their mothers and grandmothers, so they have a mindset where they can't see what the truth is, and they're not ready for it. But there are black men and women around the world, a few, handful, and that's the way it's going to always be. It's going to always only be a few. They hear the truth, and at first it's kind of shocking, but they listen, and it makes sense, and their lives are starting to change. So never, ever, ever expect majority of people to ever change. It's only the few that want to overcome their own hell. So there are some black men who are starting to wake up.
That is great because I just noticed that, and I said, man, I just wish more of them would be on your side and not call and say that's not true, that's not in the Bible, and argue such a moot point. And you're 100% correct. You'll say, oh well, that didn't happen. Oh well, that's not true, and they can't back anything up. And I'm saying, why don't you get on Jesse's side and hear what he's saying, and let that be the. Hit that catch on, like support that. Like, why do you keep arguing this negative thing that's not true?
They're not ready for it. So just wish them well.
Wow. Okay, and I love that. Wish them well.
Yeah, they're not ready. But I gotta run. Call me again.
Okay,
it's good to talk to you, Erica.
What the?
What
Amazing.
the? All right.
Bye.
Bye. Call me again. All right.
I will.
Okay. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Let me go to Canada and talk to Eli, I believe. Let's see here. There's one line open. Eli, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. How are you?
All is well.
All is well. I had a quick question, but first of all, thank you for everything you do. You helped me a lot.
You're welcome.
I call, but when I call, I always remember to thank you. You helped me a lot. There's some guy, because I sent you a video and I was like, that's interesting because, a lot of people, well, it's not Bible Thumper Thursday, but a lot of people, like biblically, they always say, the only reason for you to, like, leave your house when it says in the Bible, you should leave the man should leave his mother and father and cleave on to his wife, that's it. And I see that a lot of people they hold on to that scripture. Like, I want to know, like, what do you think about it? Like, because first of all, me, I left my parents when I was like last year by listening to you.
How old were you?
I was 27 when I left.
Oh, okay. Why you stay so long?
Ooh, I was lost. I don't know. I was lost.
I understand. I do understand.
Before beginning, listen to you. I left the first time, but when I left the first time, it was by anger. It wasn't like, okay, I'm leaving because I have a job and stuff. It's because I had a lot of disagreement with my parents, and anger came out. And I came back, and the second time I said that I was leaving, I left like, I don't know if it's ego or, I don't know if it's ego, but in my head right now, I'm like, if I'm homeless, I'm not coming back. I just don't want to come back.
Right on. Well, when it says that when a man get married, he should take his wife far away from her family and his family, it's because if you don't, either your mother or her mother will destroy your family, because the mothers are jealous of their sons when they're with other women, because the mothers want to make their sons their husbands, their boyfriends a husband. That's why she imposed herself on them. And so when another woman come between that, the mother becomes jealous of it, and she will destroy it. And so you have your wife fighting with the mother and the mother fighting with the wife. Both want to control the man, but you don't have a chance as long as you keep your wife and family around your mother because of her jealousy.
Okay. But are you do you agree with the majority of people that says the only reason for you to leave is if you're getting married? I feel like everybody won't get married. I don't think it's everybody's fault.
A man should leave his household, his parents' home, when he's 18 or older. He should leave as soon as he returns. I say 18, 19. He should get out and start dealing with the issues of life so that he can be a living example of how to deal with things. He's not going to grow up under mama, because mama will go out of her way to weaken you.
Okay. But like right now I'm doing like the devil advocate in a way, because
Okay.
I totally agree with what you're saying. You know, it makes so much sense. But when people come to me and say like, oh, it's not biblical, like the only way for, because even my dad was like that. You know, he's a big Bible thumper and stuff. You know,
But everybody's not going to get married.
yeah, that's the thing. So like, it's like I don't know what to say. You know,
It doesn't say a man. It says that when a man get married, if he should get married, take his family far away from mama. It doesn't tell you to stay home.
Okay.
It's just saying if you get married, here's the rule. In order for your marriage to even have a chance, you got to take her away from mama and sometimes daddy, but mama, because mama ain't going to let you have another woman in your life.
Okay.
But it doesn't tell you as an individual male that you should stay under mama's skirt tail for the rest of your life. And if you notice that if you don't move out when you become an adult, a young adult, you get weaker. Your life you don't get better. You only get worse because the spirit of the mother is not going to let you grow. It's like the welfare. It's going to weaken you until you get to a point. I know men, I'm counseling with men right now, and more than one, that are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they listen to their mama and they stay home, and now they hate their mothers, they hate themselves, they hate life. They didn't build a life for themselves. They don't know how to go out and take care of themselves. They are handicapped.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends of mine. When I hear the issues, I'm like, if you would have lived, like the peace of mind you would have, maybe like in paying bills and stuff, you would have work harder. But the peace of mind that, like, I'm not comparing myself too much, but when they tell me like some issues they have, I'm like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. You know, I'm just it's not my stuff. You know, but
that's right.
I totally see what you mean.
A man has no business being home with mama after 18. It just have no business. Get out, get 2 or 3 jobs, whatever it takes to grow. You're not going to grow unless you're out there dealing with the issues of life.
Yeah.
And mama is not going to let you deal with the issues of life.
Yeah, true.
One last thing. So when those guys say that, they're okay, stay at home with mama and see how far that gets you. I have a good friend of mine. We became friends when we were in our 20s, and he was still living at home with mama, his mama. And I said to him, you better get out of your mama's house. You're going to regret it if you don't. And now he's in his late 60s, early 70s, and he is handicapped mentally, emotionally, and everything. He can't find his way. The mama died, but now he's stuck.
No, I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
What a mess. Thank you, Eli. I appreciate it.
What's the biblical question? If you have time, I don't know.
Why do you carry out the works of the flesh?
Why do you carry out the work?
Yeah, why do you carry out the works of the flesh?
I don't understand the question. I'll call you another time for the question.
All right.
I don't understand the question.
We're going to deal with it on Sunday at Fellowship. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church, and we're going to deal with this on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. All right?
All right. Do you still look like a pirate? I see that you have an eye.
No, I took it off.
Okay.
It was a nuisance.
All right. Thanks for the work, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Sure.
888-775-3773. Let me go to Mike, a first-time caller out of Southern Ohio. Mike, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, Jesse?
All is well.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Hey, I'm a big fan, honestly. I just kind of got the courage to call today. I watch the show pretty much all the time. I don't really understand the biblical question either of the day, but maybe you can explain that to me. But I had a few things I just kind of wanted to ask.
Okay.
So back in the day, I had a really bad relationship with my mother, and she was really hooked on drugs. And even today, I'm seeing things from the past that have kind of came up from my mother's kind of irresponsibility of, doing the right thing, raising me. I mean, she would do all kinds of sexual acts towards, having me go and do things with other people, and it really affected me to this day. And listening to you, and obviously, like, knowing that I have to forgive and just kind of just be like, I forgive you and whatever, that kind of made it a lot better. But I just wanted to know, like, what else is it, if I still have resentment towards things, because there's things that I feel like still affect me to this day, even if I apologize, or not apologize, but forgive. I still feel like I have these things that affect me to this day, no matter how much I try to forgive.
Have you forgiven your father for not protecting you from all that, from your mother?
My dad died when I was about 16 of cancer.
Oh,
so
okay.
I didn't.
Well, even though he's dead, you still forgive him for not protecting you.
Yeah, I mean, I forgive him. I can't really say I forgive him as much as I want to because he's not here. But
how much?
He definitely could have did a much better job.
Yeah, he did the best he could. Had he been able to do more, he didn't have it to do. He didn't know how. So
I guess so. I mean, my mom was bad.
Are you doing? What did your mother say when you went and forgave her?
You know how most women are. They're like, "Oh, it ain't my fault."
Yeah.
It ain't my fault, Mike. What you mean? This was you. Like, well, I was 16. So it's kind of hard for anybody to take that seriously, especially coming from their mother.
Are you doing the silent? Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yeah, I heard about that. That's actually helpful for sure. I don't have to look crazy, when I'm doing it either.
Are you doing it every morning and night?
I try to do it every. I try to wait till midday. That way, I actually have a good, thought process of what to silently pray about.
Are you doing it every morning, every night?
No, not as much as I should, but I do it about every day for sure, and that kind of.
So you're doing my silent prayer, right?
Yeah.
And why not every morning and night?
There's
nothing wrong with doing it during the day too, but why not every morning and night?
I feel like I'm always in a rush in the morning to get to work or, do things. So I'm kind of already on the clock when I go to wake up. And then when I get home, I just forget.
So
life kind of goes by.
So it's not that important to you to overcome your hell?
Oh, dude, it's very important.
If it's very important, why don't you put that first?
That's a good point.
No, that was a good question.
Yeah, that's a good point for sure.
No, that was a good question. Why don't you?
Yeah.
Why don't you put that first? If it's that important to you, Mike, hold for me, buddy.
I should.
Can you hold?
Yeah, of course.
Hold on, Mike. Let me take a quick break. This hour's up. When I come back, we'll move a call and super chat. Hake coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the Hake news. I'll be back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him, I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. They may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour one of Get It Off Your Chest Friday, guys. The lines are full. JLP will be right back to your calls. It is Friday, June 21st, AD 2024. Second day of summer, I do believe. Yesterday was the first, if I'm not mistaken. It is Hake news, not fake news. Our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, will get the final word at the CNN Commie Nonsense Network debate next week after a coin flip determined the podium placement and order of closing statements. So mark your calendars if you want to catch the historic Biden-Trump showdown set for Thursday, the 27th of June, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific time. What a mess. Heat wave coming through hot, at least in America, parts of it. Dangerously hot temperatures are scorching the United States, so says Commie Nonsense Network. The result of record-breaking heat wave shifting to New York and the I-95 corridor. More than 100 million Americans are under heat wave advisories, watches, and warnings throughout the weekend across the Northwest and the Southwest. The Northeast and the Southwest, my bad. Widespread upper 90s and even triple digits, into the hundreds Fahrenheit, of course, will be possible around Washington, D.C., the swamp itself, the hot swamp. If the nation's capital reaches the 100-degree mark, it'll be the first time since August of 2016. Nice. Scientists have warned that heat waves will become more frequent and severe as the climate crisis intensifies. So be afraid, kids. Make sure you get your climate anxiety from Hake and Commie Nonsense Network. Be scared. Nighttime temperatures also becoming unbearable in some of the most densely populated areas of the world, where many communities lack access, communist buzzword, to air conditioning, AC. And the so-called Supreme Court is turning toward the final frenzied weeks of their term, readying potential blockbuster decisions on abortion, guns, and our greatest president Trump's claims of absolute immunity. The court's most closely watched dispute this year is a case questioning whether Trump may claim immunity from federal election subversion charges. Isn't that rich? They're charging him with subversion. But they're the liars. He's so honest, generally, except for that big lie, of course, which I disavow. Trump's team says that there should be a distinction between official acts by Trump pursuant to his presidential duties and his private conduct. In another closely watched case, the justices will decide what happens when pregnant women show up to the hospital with medical emergencies in states that have strict bans on abortion, also known as abortion. I say it to soften it. The so-called Supreme Court's decisions are expected by the end of the month. What a mess. And peace in the Middle East, not going to happen. Israel's top military spokesman said Hamas cannot be destroyed, casting doubt about whether the government's war aim of defeating the militant group Hamas can be achieved. The comments drew a sharp rebuke from based Prime Minister Bibi Benjamin Netanyahu and showed the deepening rift between the Israeli government and its military. Netanyahu has come under increasing pressure from members of his government and Israel's allies, including the so-called United States, to devise a strategy for the post-war governance of Gaza after Israel's devastating bombardment in the region. The death toll in Gaza has supposedly surpassed 35,000 since the Israel-Hamas war began in October, according to the health ministry in the besieged enclave. What a mess. By the way, rest in peace to Donald Sutherland, veteran actor, that older guy, father to Kiefer Sutherland, known for his roles in MASH, if you remember that show, Clute, The Hunger Games. He has died after battling a long illness, according to his agency. He was 88 years old, the tender age of 88. His decorated career spanned more than 60 years, and nearly 200 films and credits. Speaking of degenerates, Melinda French Gates backed Biden. What a lame-o. Lame-et. I'm James Hake.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm JLP Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for today. The biblical question: why do you carry out the works of the flesh? Why? Why do you carry out the works of the flesh? Amazing question. If you're running around right now and working out, whatever you're doing, right? Grabbing the people food off the porch, after the food delivery driver walk up to the door, whatever you're doing, you can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 605-615-4131, 605-615-4131. All right? Amazing. That's on TalkStream Live. But if you want to talk to me, you can call in at 888-7753-773. And to donate, and we are going to get to your super chats, you can go to donate and have your comments read out loud. You can go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or RebuildingTheMan.com. RebuildingTheMan.com. It's Friday. Every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. It is always Express Yourself. This is Trump. Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
You or someone you love has been a victim of a porch pirate. That package that you're so excited about just gone off your stoop before you can even open it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to believe, but these porch pirates are getting even more brazen.
Governor Moore would be forgiving marijuana-related charges for roughly 100,000 people.
Our country is not the same anymore.
Our 5-year anniversary, and today I wanted to share my husband's reaction to seeing my face for the first time.
Let go. It is not the same anymore, Gary.
This is the 16th year of this Juneteenth event here in the city of Round Rock.
We grieve with the families who have lost loved ones and stand with those who were injured.
It's not even the same neighborhood anymore. We've seen a lot of unscooped poop on the Strand in the South Bay.
Dog owners should know the number 1 rule. Pick up those number 2.
Hey, you dodging shit all over the carpet.
Amazing. This is why you shouldn't let animals into your building. People don't care. They really just don't care. If they did, they wouldn't even have their dog in your establishment. But it's up to you. Did you hear that they had the little June 10th, whatever thing? I believe that happened down in Louisiana somewhere. Or maybe, I forgot, so don't quote me the state or city. The blacks ended up killing each other again. Fighting, shooting. According to reports. How come the blacks gotta shoot and kill up each other every time they get together, no matter where, what, and why? Why? Amazing, huh? Human nature is evil. And when you go and forgive, you're opening it up now to welcome the truth to come into your heart, and he will change your nature. He will change your nature. So, according to the AP, 15 people shot after a sideshow took over a peaceful Juneteenth celebration in Oakland, California. Police says. That's according to the AP. So that happened in Oakland, not Mississippi or anywhere down. Isn't that amazing? Is this what slavery was all about? Killing one another? How is this celebrating the end of slavery, which had already ended, and I had 5 people down in Texas didn't know about it. And they made a holiday. How is this representing, and Juneteenth, quote unquote, is supposed to represent slavery in there, and they're supposed to be caring about the black people whom they never know and never heard of, never seen. And probably those black people in slavery probably won't want to be near these blacks the way they act today. But anyway, how is that representing an appreciation for the blacks who went through slavery? And we reported on 7 incidents, bystanders killing after 2 groups fought in Round Rock, Texas. Oh, I remember that. Round Rock, Texas, over the weekend for Juneteenth. Outside of Houston, Texas, the more the blacks get together, they celebrate these different places, so-called Juneteenth, they're killing each other. It's like getting together for a killing. Black people, you got to overcome your anger. It has nothing to do with white people. Nothing, zero. You've been lied to. It has nothing to do with racism. You're not killing other people because of racism or white people or white supremacy, which doesn't exist. You're killing because you have hatred in your heart. And that came from your mothers and your grandmothers. You got to forgive your mothers and grandmothers. I don't care what you've been told by the race hustlers and others. You got to work on you. You got to drop your anger. And no one is responsible but your parents when it first happened, but as an adult, you're responsible. And it's going to get worse if you don't. 888-7753-773. Let me go quickly back to Mike out of Ohio. And Mike went and forgave his mother. His father expired. He forgave his mother. And so, Mike, I ask, why is it that putting the silent prayer before anything, seeking what's right, is not first in your life?
Not necessarily. Not like it's not first in my life. Sometimes I just forget to do it, but I try to do it about every day as much as I can. I just had a kid recently, so sometimes I'll be doing stuff and I'll get worked up and life kind of happens, and but I try to make it as I try to stay as grounded to the Lord as possible, for real. Anything I try to do is usually I try to reference whatever I can towards Him.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I try to just do what I think is the best for or what God would want us to do, or want me to do, or intended us for us to do. And that's the best way I can live out my life. Especially with all my past trauma.
Yeah. I don't understand how, when you say you try to do what God wants to do, I don't understand what you mean by that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just don't understand. Give me an example of what you try to do that's best for your life, that God wants you to do.
Okay, like, instead of giving somebody I don't even know. That's kind of a hard thing to really even just do. Being the best person I could be, the best version, not carrying anger, trying to just live out and give everybody the most equal treatment as I possibly can. Not taking anything, too seriously or too aggressively, kind of just letting go as much as I can. You know, as far as that goes, I don't think he wants me to sit there and walk around angry or upset or.
So why don't you drop your anger then?
I usually don't have any, but a lot of the times, you know, I only live right down from my mother, so it's hard not to get mad at her once in a while, man. You know how they are.
But why get mad at her, period, when you know she can't help herself? She hates her mother.
Well, you know, it's a good question. I think maybe it's just because she's just bitter, you know.
But your mother bitterness has nothing to do with your bitterness.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So why not drop your anger?
I guess just the stuff that it keeps popping up in my future life as an adult. Like, stuff still lingers with me, you know, from her lack of responsibility and stuff like that. Doesn't mean I'm angry. I guess it's I don't know. Being resentful and being angry, I guess, could be the same thing.
It is the same thing. And you said from stuff that pop up in your future life?
Yeah.
And where is your future life?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Or where do I want it to be?
Where is your future life?
Where?
You said stuff pop up in your future life. Where is your future life?
Well, I just had a baby.
You had a baby?
My mom. Yeah, I just had a baby girl.
How did you have a baby? How did you have a baby?
Through intercourse.
Men don't have babies.
Well, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So why you say you had a baby?
Because she's mine. You know, I don't really look at the
so your girlfriend had a baby.
As much of a parent.
So where is your future life?
I'm not sure.
So how is stuff popping up in your future life? Then you're not even sure where it is.
Because I live in a small town. Stuff from the past, you know, kind of pops up. Even in here, I feel like, you know, in the small town, I feel like I still got to deal with a lot of nonsense from my mother's past and
why don't
my
you?
Past.
But why? No, you don't have to deal with that at all. Why don't you let it go?
I do. I don't feel like anybody else does, though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anyone else does. It doesn't matter what your mama does. It doesn't matter what your daddy does. It doesn't matter what your so-called friends do. It doesn't matter what your coworkers do. It doesn't matter what the grocery store does. It's only matter what you do in your life.
So when things pop up, how would you go about it? You know, I mean, if something from the past that, you know, your mother or father had going on, you know, and people look at you like, you know, you're about to pay the debt. What do you say to that?
I would not say anything. I would wish them well and move on with my life. You don't have to pay the debt for what your parents have done. You are you, and they were themselves, and their problem was their problem, not yours.
That's why I love you, dude. You're so cool. You're so awesome, man.
Why do you make what someone else think or those of your parents' life your issue? They're not your issue. You didn't create those issues. They have nothing to do with you. Why do you even concern yourself about that?
That's a good question. I just feel like, I don't know, I get stuck in between figuring out what the right thing to do as a man is and then what I should do as a man. I get stuck in limbo sometimes. I didn't really have much of a dad growing up, so I mean, it's hard for me to even, you know, do the right thing as a man sometimes, you know. I never had that influence.
What is the right thing?
I'd have to say, I mean, I listen to you a lot. I'd have to say anything that I talk to anybody about regarding being a man and, you know, with the family, I try to do as much as I can and reference you as pretty much. Some people might not take that seriously because they might not, you know, agree with you, but I do. So, I mean, I try to reference anything I can, you know, like
do you
dropping the anger.
Let me do this because of time. And do you want to be free?
Do I want to be free?
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to have a clear mind and be free?
Yeah.
Drop the anger so you can drop thinking. You need to stop thinking.
Stop thinking for everybody, like stop thinking what everybody else is thinking, or?
Stop thinking, period.
Okay.
So you can use your mind in the right way. You want to, when you need to go to work, you want to think about how to make your job work. That's a tool.
Right.
But when you do that job, you put down the tool. You want to think about what's for dinner. When you eat the meal, you're done with the thinking, right? But as far as thinking about you and this false illusion of yourself, you need to cut all that out. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You're not your body. You're not your emotion, the good or the bad. You're none of those things. You have no past, no future. When you stop thinking, you're going to live in the present, and that's where life is. And life will work for you on its own. But you got to let go of thinking about the past or thinking about the future or thinking about what you think or thinking about other people. You got to just live.
Yeah, word, for sure. Amazing.
So do the silent prayer every morning and night. Put truth, seeking the truth before anything else. If you really, really want to get over the hell you're living in your imagination, you would put that first so God can take over and he will guide your path. He will clear your mind. He will give you perfect peace and everything will be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I try to put God in first, no matter what.
Because whatever happened in the, whatever you've done in the past, it doesn't exist now except in your mind. Your body has healed, but your mind is not free. The problem's in the thoughts. It's not reality.
Yeah.
So let go of all thoughts and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's no joke. Yeah. I agree.
So do the silent prayer so you can let go of the imagination. All thoughts, so-called good ones or bad ones, all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And you don't have a past, nor do you have a future. All you have is now.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think feelings are a lie? Like, do you think the way, like, why would we even have, when we feel a certain way, why would, is that, like, what would you consider that,
The feelings are a lie. There's no such thing as a true feeling. The ones that feel good are lying to you, and the ones that feel bad are lying to you because they're of your father, the devil. It's not even you.
But, like, what if you're happy? Is that, like, also
yes.
the same kind of thing?
You want
For real?
peace. You're not looking for happiness. You're looking for peace. Christ came so you may have peace. Satan came so that you may have happiness, and happiness is a fake. It's not everlasting.
Right.
And it's always based on something. How you feel about something. Someone gave you something, or someone said something nice to you, or blah, blah, blah.
What if you're happy that you found peace?
If you're happy that you found peace, that's a different story. But when you're happy that you found peace, it doesn't change. Peace doesn't change. And it's not based on anything.
What would you consider? So if somebody was happy that they found peace, you wouldn't consider that, like the works of the devil or nothing?
And now, if they truly found peace, they would say to you, Mike, I'm happy that I found peace. But they're living in the peace, not in the happiness.
Oh, that's a great point, Jesse.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I listen to you, man. You make things make sense, dude. I swear.
And the reason it's making sense to you, because you want what's right, and the Father is confirming to you that this makes sense. So that's why I want to encourage you, get serious about the silent prayer. You wake up in the morning and do it. And don't wake up late. You wake up in time, you give yourself 10 or 15 minutes to do it. And then during the day, if you get caught up in your head, become aware of your body, be aware of what around you. And at night, do it. You'll be fine. I'm telling you, it's going to set. The prayer is not setting you free, but being still, and the Father is taking over, and He's setting you free.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty pretty amazing.
Amazing. And so forget about your mama. Let her problem be her problem. They're not yours. And don't let her dump her misery on you. You wish her well, but don't let her dump her hell on you at all. You don't owe her anything. You're not responsible for her or anything. Just forgive her. She could not help herself.
I'm just worried about, my baby growing up and my mom being also, subjecting her to, the negative thoughts, negative actions. That's what I'm also
Why
worried
don't
about,
you
too.
keep your daughter away from your mama?
Because I feel like I just feel bad almost. Like I don't know. I feel bad like I'm preventing, my daughter from seeing her grandma. I guess.
That doesn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah, I guess.
Your job is to protect your child from evil.
Yeah, you're right.
So then why are you feeling bad that you're protecting your child from your evil mother?
Honestly, I think that's just my mother coming out of me talking for real.
I'm sorry, come back to your phone.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, that might just be my, probably the way I was raised coming out. I mean, I don't know.
Your job is to protect your daughter from evil. That's why God said, take them away from your mama. Your mama will destroy them just as she's done you.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's my biggest fear for sure.
It's just so wish your mama well, meaning don't resent her, but keep your daughter away from your mama. And you can tell her, I'm not letting my daughter come around you. You're evil.
What do you think if she was to change, would there be like do you believe that somebody like that could change? I mean, she's old.
Anyone, I don't care how young or how old they are, anyone that wants to change from their hell to heaven can change.
You think so? It's not like tricking an old dog, new tricks or nothing?
No such thing.
Oh, yeah.
If she want to change, she can change. Christ came that all may be free. All who want it, but most people just don't want it. They love their misery, and they love inflicting their misery on you. They get a thrill out of trying to hurt someone else because they're of their father, the devil. And your mother get a thrill making you afraid and miserable.
Yeah, for sure. I think she gets a thrill out of it.
But it's your fault. You're allowed to have it by staying around her.
Yeah. I kind of live close to her, though. That's what's unfortunate. I live maybe 8 houses down, which is kind of a bummer.
What the?
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. Nobody likes that, man.
Listen, I got to run. I gotta run. But here's what I recommend. Do what you want. Do the silent prayer. Drop the anger. There's never, ever, 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 but never, ever, ever a reason to be angry. Never. And then, never. And then don't argue with the devil in your imagination, and don't argue with the devil inside of other people. You just live your life. And let me know how it goes.
All right, Jesse. Amazing. I wish I had more time to ask you a bunch of other questions. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff down. I guess I'll have to call some other time.
Yeah, call me again. Call me every day until you get them all answered.
Oh, sweet. I got a bunch of questions. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, do that.
All right, man. I really appreciate it. This is awesome.
All right. I wish you well, buddy.
I wish you well, too, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Amazing. Hake would have said, oh, I didn't catch it in time. Click. 888-77-JESSE. Let me do some super chats. Super chats.
Over on D Live yesterday, I somehow missed this D Live diamond. Karasu737 says today, meaning yesterday, is my birthday. Smiley face. God bless Jesse in the chats.
Thank you. Amazing.
Shout out to the D Live crew.
For birthday shout outs, go to cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right. I'll do them myself. Amazing. Thank you.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Mo Betta says with 15 coffees, oh, OMG, oh my gosh, Jesse. Bass seriously just did that? As in Karen Bass. Weingard Tower? Look, that looks modeled exactly after the 1960 to 1990 Detroit and Philly projects, where hundreds of single cracked out mamas sit cracked out and watch sitcoms and don't do crack and go to work as single money maker as their children commingle on the small yard 15 floors down, ground level, turn into unsupervised, unparented gang members. Whose good idea was this? Talking about the housing projects for the homeless.
According to the report, that project was already in operation, meaning that it had already been approved. And I don't know how they already started building, but before that stupid woman, Cori Bush, became mayor, so it was already in operation, meaning that they're already working on it one way or another. But she still loved it because she wanted to get money for the housing people. Amazing. It's an evil thing. It's because human nature has no love. You can't find love in human beings. Cori Bush hate people, and it's all about her. And Maxine Waters, all those people. Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
As Coolio once said, been spending most of my life living in a future breeding ground of a gangsta paradise. Thank you, Mo Betta.
Thank you.
With your 15 coffees, very generous. Someone bought a coffee. I listened to the discussion that you and your expert had on the 18th about what that lady said concerning what women want while listening. And while listening, Joel sounded like he was so high on weed with his opinion, even though I know he's not being around you. He's not being high. He's not actually high.
He doesn't do drugs. I don't think Joel ever done drugs.
Never.
That I'm aware of.
Well, he did. He used to co-host the Hake Report, and we did talk about drugs. And some of those younger millennials, even the good kids, they did drugs.
I don't remember him saying that even when he was... Maybe he said... I don't know. I don't think Joel's ever done drugs. I don't remember him saying that. If he said it, I don't remember it.
Yep.
Okay.
I know. He sounded like he supports the unconsciousness of women.
Amazing. Thank you. He seemed to really... so Joel's saying no drugs. He's never done drugs.
Nice. Thank you, someone with your coffee.
Amazing.
Anyway.
And he says
and he's clean. He doesn't even do caffeine.
He doesn't do caffeine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't drink coffee either.
He won't even drink kombucha.
What manner of man is this?
He is all natural.
Come on, man.
He doesn't do creatine or steroids or caffeine or pre-workout or anything.
So how he function?
He doesn't even eat candy bars or donuts.
Yeah, right. Now you take the joke too far.
Oh, okay. My bad. He does do sugar sometimes.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. But thank you.
Mo Betta with 5 coffees. Caller Darius yesterday sounded like 42 Doug in the song Alone from Detroit and went trying to live in the South, but not Texas. But Darius' mama's still alive. Alone is about losing his mama at 18 and indirectly proclaiming he is not having a father guidance in his life the whole time either. Forlorn emoji. Sad. That was a great call from Darius.
When was it?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay. On my show?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He said, I live with my mama. I know I'm beta.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
She's a Bible thumper. She hates I can't play your show in the house with her.
If Darius stays with it, he's going to be fine. If he stick with it, stick with it. Amazing. Thank you.
He did the silent prayer, and it was like the loudest time he's ever had.
Yeah. I remember now. Amazing call. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. I like giving to the bond. I heard you say when a person somewhat mean dog, they're insecure. My question for you, sir, when someone walks around with an open carry gun, is that insecurity as well? Just asking?
No.
Nice.
Amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let me take a quick break, then come back to the phones and finish up the super chats. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand. I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Amazing! Don't forget Sunday fellowship at 11 a.m. Sunday morning. All are invited. And they are amazing fellowships. Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Doors open at 10:30 Pacific time. Meetings start at 11 a.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific Eastern time. Eastern time. So let me get it right. 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right? What are you black? Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. We've been having some, I don't know what next Sunday going to bring. I never know until it happens. Amazing. There's none like it. Fellowships on Sundays. The men and the women are on fire. So check it out. Go to rebuildingtheman.com and make a donation. We need your support. We're helping you. Help us to help others. And don't have me asking. What's y'all? rebuildingtheman.com/church. Let's just finish those super chats that we have. Catch up with them and then the calls.
Okay. Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, my close and personal friend Jib Jab, when Jesse told David Lucas, fallen state guest, bigger black comedian, conservative, he was going to buy him a plantation, find him a bunch of black people, take him down to the plantation, make him pick cotton and stuff, then hire a bunch of white people and ride around on horses. For some reason, I instantly pictured Hake with the good hair being amongst the white riders of justice, cracking their whips.
I can see that too.
That's kind. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Danny bought a coffee.
And I can hear Hake saying guilty.
And then he did a gesture of like cracking the whip. All right, Jesse and the lads, says Danny with a coffee. My mate and I was arguing. He thinks after the show, you and James put on sandals and hop on electric bikes and go for a little tofu burger. But I know you fire up your Mustangs and go for some rare steak and shrimp. Big strong arm emoji. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, good. Thank you, Danny. Amazing.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. So Tyrios bought a coffee. Jesse, I can't thank you enough for changing my life. I recently read someone's comment saying Jesse is making life make sense, and I wholeheartedly agreed. Thank you for doing what you do.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And I don't care what situation come, you stay with it. Go through the fire, really. You will not regret it. It only gets better. And you can, and I'm telling you this because I talk to a lot of people now who are waking up and they catch hell because their friends, their family members, and others go after them. They hate the light in you. So forgive them. Don't take it personal. Forgive them. They know not what they do. They are trying to get a thrill. They're trying to stop you. But forgive them. Don't argue with them. Don't argue with the devil in your head. And you stay with it. I'm telling you, endure to the end if it takes a lifetime. All right? Amazing. Stay with it.
Popcorn Stump Cake bought a coffee. Jesse, I'm willing to bet that the person who did your eye surgery had a quote-unquote stupid degree. Amazing. Your statement that people with degrees are dummies is short-sighted.
Just because you have a degree, you may have the knowledge of how to do eye surgery, but you're still stupid. You know what I mean?
How does that grab you?
But thank you, though. Thank you. Intellectuals are stupid. This is the way it is. They have a bunch of paper that they paid $100 million for, and they have a false sense of being smart, and it's not. It's like it's doing a job, but the job is a physical thing you're doing, but that's not making you smart. Amazing. Thank you.
Popcorn Stump Cake. Malls pay people to clean up outside, so why should Hassan clean up after his dog? 2 S's in Hassan. Sounds like a silly thing to say, right? That's how you sound justifying leaving your cart in the parking lot since they pay people to retrieve them. Cart emoji.
Picking up a personal dog dump is not the same as a cart. There's no comparison at all. Good try, though, but no comparison. It's hard for me. I understand human nature, so I do understand that people don't care. Their hearts are wicked. But it's just, how do you take your dog to somebody else's property, you let your dog use the bathroom on it, and you walk away? Come on, man. You don't have to have your dog with you. And you can at least clean it up. Amazing. Well, thank you. Good try, though.
Ronnie from Ohio bought a coffee. Uncle Jesse, before forgiving your mother, were you afraid of her? Were you afraid to correct her? Were you angry at her? Have a great weekend.
100%. Ain't no way I would have been correcting my mama. And it wasn't until I forgave her that things changed. It was made. Good question. Thank you.
Zach Coffee. I live in a state fully legalized marijuana. What are your thoughts on certain states legalizing pot? Also, do you believe that smoking pot is an evil activity? If so, why? Thanks, Jesse. Stay amazing.
If the state legalized pot, they're not making you walk down to the store and buy the pot. You're responsible for that. And I wouldn't call it evil, wrong, but what it does, it causes you to go unconscious. You should want a life of consciousness. You want to be present with the truth. You want to live in the present. You want to live in the love. You want to live in now, right? When you smoke pot, you go unconscious. And you should want to work on yourself to become conscious at all time. Pot prevent you from doing that. But thank you.
And on Rumble, it's me. Xenia says, have a great weekend, JLP and crew. Thank you, Xenia.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate it.
Donnie Grohl's idea, Juneteenth massacres. They could have turned it into an opportunity to appreciate what people have done for little to no recognition or compensation, but instead they repaid evil for evil. How sad.
They don't know what people have done. They can care less about what people have done. Celebrating so-called the end of slavery is not about what people have done. They don't care about that at all. They have no clue. They don't care. It just gives them a reason to kill one another. That's all it is. They don't care. Amazing, but thank you.
And thank you, guys. Oh, C on C came in late with the coffee. Please put the pirate eye back on, Jesse. So I saw a beggar woman homeless, or maybe not, with a child now, just like Mommy Africa. Now it has become a third world country before our eyes. Or is it our pirate eyes?
What? I didn't understand that.
She's doing two at once. She's talking about the pirate patch that you had, the eye patch earlier this week.
Okay.
And also she saw a homeless-looking woman with a child in America, and it's just like Mommy Africa. Right before our eyes, third world country.
Yeah, we definitely have a third world country. I'm not putting the patch back on. It's a nuisance. Plus, I let the air hit my eye. But thank you, Sion. I appreciate it.
Nuisance.
Nuisance.
Good word.
See there?
SAT vocabulary.
See there.
Amazing.
But we do live in a third world country now. America is officially a third world country. Thank you, Sion.
And thank you guys. It's all for now.
Thank you. Amazing. Nice. Let me go to the phone. Thank you all for your support. Denny from Bulgaria. Denny, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good day, Mr. Peterson. Hope you're doing well, sir.
All is well, Denny.
Glad to hear, Mr. Peterson. Before I say what I want to say, I want to congratulate you on your opening, and I'm very happy to hear about this young couple that got married. This is exactly how I was raised. You know, the man should buy his property, the home, and the woman should come with him. So congratulations to those friends of yours.
Congratulations, Isaac and Rebecca. Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Peterson, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you. There is this colleague of mine. She's a lovely woman. She lost her parents when she was young. They died in a car accident. So she grew up with her grandparents. Her grandfather died a while ago, and now her grandmother is dying. And you know how you say that if people want to change, we should talk about them. And I talked about her. She doesn't speak a lot of English, but she understands it. And I showed her your program. She was watching, and she told me that she went to forgive her grandmother. Her grandmother was dying on her dying bed, you know, and with a system in her hand, everything. And we actually had this similar conversation. Like, well, my grandmother was a nice lady. She was a good lady, and so on and so forth. She understood that she had to forgive her grandma. And she told me that when she went there and forgave her, her grandmother went nasty. Like, she started cursing at her. Like, what are you forgiving? The devil in that old lady was so strong that he didn't even let her die. He brought her back. She started calling her friends. My granddaughter, who did she think she forgave me for what? If it wasn't for me, she'd be dead. Friends of her grandmother started calling her to ask her why she did that. Imagine the evil that was in this woman. All those, and her grandmother is an old woman. She 80-something. And she was so vicious and so nasty. She was about to die in 5 minutes. She's still around. That happened last week.
The hell brought her back to life?
Oh, yes. That anger brought her back to life, if you can call it that. I don't think you should call it life, because that's definitely not.
Yeah, it's not life, that's for sure.
Like an evil zombie from the movies, you know. And she calling her, it's absurd. But Mr. Peterson, I guess on my colleagues' behalf, I would like to thank you, because she told me about that. I said, how are you feeling? She said, I'm feeling great.
That is an amazing story.
That's why I wanted to call you to share this with you. It's crazy, Mr. Peterson. And just imagine at your deathbed, you're not even being able to understand that your grandchild is forgiving. It's crazy.
I know. But that's how evil operates, man. And evil, you can only overcome it if you want to overcome it. If you can admit to yourself, even if you don't tell anyone, your heart is angry, you have anger in your heart. If you can admit that, you can become free. But most people won't admit it. And according to your story, it's all like grandmama wasn't ready to admit that.
I think the only reason she's still here is because the devil doesn't want her down there.
I know.
This is absurd. And with that said, I know how busy you are on Fridays, Mr. Peterson. Kind regards to your audience and your colleagues. And God be with you, sir. And I'm happy to see that you're healthy with your wives and everything.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Amazing story. Have a good weekend.
Likewise. Goodbye, sir.
Bye-bye now. Amazing story. 888-77-53773. A lot of people are afraid to go and forgive mama and grandmama and or grandmama because they're afraid of that hell that might come out of them. They're afraid of that hell. But how will you get to heaven if you don't go through hell? You got to go through the hell to get to heaven. Ain't no way around it. You got to go through hell. And on the other side of hell is heaven. Amazing. Let me go to Tyler from Iowa. Tyler, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Hey, Tyler.
Hey, and so I was just calling this morning to initially say a couple of months ago I had watched that Larry Elder documentary, Uncle Tom, that you were featured in, and I thought it was, it was really well done, and it got me wondering, do you recall the first presidential candidate that you ever supported, or the first politician that you ever threw your support behind?
Who was the first person I voted for? Who was the president after Reagan?
Bush.
First
Bush.
Let me see. I don't think I voted for Reagan because I wasn't into politics at the time. I think it may have. I may change my mind later and remember who it was, but I think it was Bush. George W. Bush, I think.
Gotcha. Cool. And so, because, that documentary, I think, all Black Americans should watch that. I know we both know they probably won't, but...
Yeah. Everybody really and their mama should watch Uncle Tom 1 and Uncle Tom 2. There was, if you want a real life lesson, you should watch Uncle Tom 1 and 2. And it especially 2 because it lays out everything I've been telling you about the so-called civil rights movement and more. How the civil rights movement was one of the worst things that ever happened to the blacks other than abortion. It was one of the worst things that ever happened to the blacks. It was amazing.
I tend to agree with that. I feel like there's some nuances to how that could be answered, but I think that it clearly wasn't very good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And so I also wanted to answer the biblical question.
Why do you carry out the works of the flesh?
Okay, so I was kind of confused about what that meant until I think Hake cleared it up like a couple days ago. He said it was about indulgence or something of that nature, like indulging in the flesh or something like that, I think anyway. But it really boils down to self-interest. And whether you say human nature is evil, right? That's something you are constantly kind of harping on. Human nature is evil. Is that correct?
Do you see that human nature is evil or you don't?
I absolutely see it. I mean, I full-heartedly agree with that statement. And that, boils, I think you could kind of boil it down to self-interest ruling the world.
So why do you carry out the works of the flesh?
To whatever my agenda is, you do the same thing. I mean, you got to keep the lights on. You got a program to run. You can serve good or you can serve evil. So, as far as why you do it,
why do you carry out the works of the flesh?
So maybe because of my own self-interest. That would be my full answer. Like, whatever advantage I can gain in the world, that's why I do it. That's why you do it too.
So you carry out the works of the flesh for what reason?
For self-interest.
I appreciate that, Tyler. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I want to respond, but I got to wait until Sunday. Thank you, man.
Yep. You have a good one now.
You too,
Have
buddy.
a good weekend and good fellowship.
You too. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. 888-7753-773. James out of New York. There's a line open, folks. James, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Jesse? How you doing?
All is well.
I wanted to ask you to ask me who am I?
I don't want to ask you that.
Ah, dang it! I feel like
what the?
I feel like I hear you ask people a lot that question, who are you? And I feel like I've been trying to find out who I am more than I've ever tried finding out who I am since I started listening to you. It was never really like a thought I would think about because I would distract myself with things all the time. But I have, I guess, two answers for that question, and I just wanted to get like your opinion on it.
You have two answers for what question?
For who you are, if someone were to ask me.
You have two answers for who you are?
I guess two ways to explain it would be better to say.
So you have two answers. You have two ways to explain who you are?
I guess so, yeah.
Do you or don't you?
I do.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So one way I would answer it is I'm a son of God existing in the present. And I feel like that's not describing what I do or my name or like my wants or whatever. It's who I am. I'm just.
How do you know you're a son of God? Especially yourself. How do you know you're a son of God?
Well, I say son of God just because we were created by him.
But how do you know you're a son of God? You said that's who you are. How do you know that?
I guess because I have a soul.
But how do you know you're a son of God?
Yeah, that's a good question on top of my question.
But why did you say it?
I would just say because I was created in his image.
But how do you know that, though?
I don't know it for sure now that you asked me.
So why did you say you are and you don't know that you are?
Well, because I'm not God. So I can't truly say I know.
But why did you say that that's who you are?
Because it felt like truth to me. Like when I was thinking about it, I felt like, well, I assume, or I
assume.
It makes it an A out of me, right? Yes. And then the second part of it, which I guess is the simplest term, is something I've heard before in I don't know, the Bible or something. But if someone were to ask me who I am, I would say, I am that I am. I just exist. I'm just something that exists right now.
And how do you know that?
Because I'm experiencing it.
Experiencing what?
Existence.
What did that feel like?
It feels like the present.
And what did that feel like?
It's happening and going constantly.
What? No. James, What?
I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, Jesse, but I just like hearing your opinions a little bit.
I understand. Thank you, James. Call me again, James. I got to run back in a moment. 1 more hour to go.
Thank you so much. The silent prayer. You know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much. And ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. You're going to know God and His love. It's going to be amazing, man.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. What's going on in the world? TikTok, based TikTok, fighting the Biden ban. And I use the term loosely. Maybe they're evil versus evil, probably. Southwest Airlines, a little update on that dip that they took. Remember that dip? I don't know if you remember it from Hake News. American Ink maybe may have talked about it. JLP might have been starting to talk about it. Caitlin Clark getting a rematch versus that evil Angel Reese this weekend. $9,000 tickets, by the way. Evil Melinda Gates for Crooked Joe. Not surprising. Women are not that into Biden, though. So it's a mess. This is the end of hour 2 of the JLP show. The lines are full. It is Friday, June 21st, AD 2024. JLP will be right back to your calls. But first, Hake News, not fake news. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, reports TikTok ramped up their attacks on the evil, crooked Joe Biden administration, which is really Obama Part 3 administration, many of the same people. Yesterday, over a law that could ban the popular app from the United States. They argued in a court filing that U.S. TikTok users could be forced to live on an island, quote unquote, of content disconnected from the rest of the world if the platform is forced to find a new owner. Under what is now U.S. law, TikTok is forced to find a new owner by January 2025 or be banned from the United States entirely. TikTok has insisted it's not possible for their Chinese parent, ByteDance, to divest from the app. Not possible technologically, commercially, nor legally. And that's a quote. And not by the deadline laid out by crooked Joe Biden, the so-called president. The Injustice Department, which should probably be disbanded, has declined to comment. The FAA, according to the Commie Nonsense Network, this is all from CNN, is investigating a Southwest Airlines flight that flew just 525 feet above an Oklahoma town. Wow. I thought it was over the ocean. It was an Oklahoma town, triggering an altitude warning from the air traffic control. Data shows that Southwest Flight 4069 was about 9 miles from the Will Rogers World Airport in Oklahoma City when it descended to the low altitude just after midnight Wednesday. Southwest 4069 low altitude alert. A controller is heard saying in an air traffic control recording, "You good out there?" The pilot's response is not audible. Multiple pilots, 2 pilots. The co-pilot, I think, is the one who messed it up. Not sure. The Boeing 737-800 climbed briefly and then maneuvered for a successful landing. This marks the second recent incident involving a Southwest flight narrowly missing the ground after one of its planes plunged toward the ocean. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's a different incident. Off the coast of a Hawaiian island last week. That's what the evil CNN is reporting. $9,000 is the price of some seats at this weekend's rematch between basketball rivals and the sole WNBA star, Caitlin Clark. She's the one true star of the women's basketball. And Angel Reese, who has 3 inches on her. She's 6'3". Wow. Potentially making it the most expensive WNBA game ever. And today's quote from philanthropist Melinda French Gates, who divorced from her husband Bill Gates, and she became like the richest woman in the world or something like that. "I've never endorsed a political candidate before, but this year is different." And she is backing crooked Joe Biden's reelection. You know she's wrong. "The stakes for women and families couldn't be higher." It's women or families. You got to pick one. If you're on the side of women, you're not on the side of families. And that's a fact. By the way, Biden's popularity with women is waning, and it could cost him, report the far-left females at the Skim. It's dropped from, his lead among women has dropped from 13%. Wow, ladies are silly. To roughly 8%. Dropped 5 percentage points since the 2020 election per the far-left failing at New York Slime's analysis of more than 30 polls conducted over the last 6 months. Could be a wake-up call for demon rats, who reportedly haven't seen their lead among women drop into the single digits for 20 years. The women are suckers for the Democrats. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Somewhere in the world got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm JLP Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. That's amazing. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, the biblical question: why do you carry out the works of the flesh? Why do you carry out the works of the flesh? Isn't that amazing? Amazing. You can listen to the show if you can't sit quietly and watch it right now live. And you want to, a lot of you, some of you watch it later, you podcast the show, but you could be listening no matter where you are, at the beach or whatever you're doing. Near miss, airplane crash, whatever it might be. By calling the listen line, TalkStream line, listen line at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or JLP Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. It's Friday. It's the last hour of the show today. It is. Always get it off your chest on Friday. It is Express Yourself Friday, and this is Trump.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
You or someone you love has been a victim of a porch pirate. That package that you're so excited about just gone off your stoop before you can even open it. And it's hard to believe, but these porch pirates are getting even more brazen.
Governor Moore would be forgiving marijuana-related charges for roughly 100,000 people.
Amazing.
Our country is not the same anymore.
Our 5-year anniversary, and today I wanted to share my husband's reaction to seeing my face for the first time.
Let go. It is not the same anymore, Gary.
This is the 16th year of this Juneteenth event here in the city of Round Rock.
We grieve with the families who have lost loved ones and stand with those who were injured.
It's not even the same neighborhood anymore. We've seen a lot of unscooped poop on the Strand in the South Bay.
Dog owners should know the number 1 rule. Pick up those number 2.
They don't care.
All over the carpet.
See? What a mess! All human beings are about self only. I was looking at a report where these so-called mothers are pretending to be upset about their children being online, and apparently they're seeing all different kind of things online. And these mothers all of a sudden are pretending that they are upset about it. They're lying. They're not upset about it at all. Period. They just want to go on TV and complain and pretend they started a group to change it. They're all about themselves. If they love their children, and if they were truly cared about what's on the phone, Number one, they would stay home and raise the children, raise the man's children. Number two, they wouldn't be giving the phones to the children because they would have the patience and love to raise the children. They don't care. You can't blame the cell phone company for that. You're responsible for your kids, not the cell phone. They don't make you go down to the store or go online and buy those phones for the children or those whatever they get them. They do it because they don't love the children and they ain't got time for them. They don't have the patience or anything. And plus, they want to go out and work like a man so they can feel fulfilled. It's all a game. Anyway, I talk about how I want my country back and that it's never coming back. It's never, ever, ever my country, my America, which used to be amazing, it's now gone. It's a third world country. As Sion said in the super chat, it's a third world country now. And I asked Hake to hang out with me for a minute. I wanted him to respond to this soundbite, and you ought to see it too. And I've often wondered why white Americans, for the last 70 years, give or take, what? What? Yeah. What the? I'm talking to the anchor baby in my headset. What the? I often wonder over why for the last 70 years white Americans shut down and they stopped fighting for the greatest country on this side of heaven. And they gave it over to the complainers who only destroyed the country and are still destroying the country. They have not done one thing to make it better. Zero in 70 years. But white people stopped fighting for America, a country that was founded by white men, and with the help of God, created the best country on this side of heaven. And the white men went through hell building this country. But white people stopped fighting for it. And I often wonder why did I start hearing, when I started radio, I first started out in radio, that people would call me and they say, well, white people feel guilty. Why? Because black people were enslaved and black people have made them feel guilty. But you never had anything to do with it, and slavery wasn't as bad as the blacks were trying to pretend that it was. They're only pretending that it was bad because they want the blacks to be angry so they can get into government, they can make money, they can use the blacks. Slavery wasn't what you've been told it was, right? But the white people feel guilty. But white people you don't need to feel guilty. Even if it was true, let's say slavery was the worst thing that ever happened, right? It wasn't your fault. You weren't around. But the white feel guilty. Well, a few years ago, comedian Louis C.K. revealed why some Americans are okay with the immigrant crisis. Watch this from Revolver.
But my feeling is they should open the border, and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying, in America. It shouldn't be. It's a weird thing to sequester a certain group of people and try to keep upping their lifespan and their lifestyle and just keep trying to increase that for this group of people. And then this pressure of people trying to come in so they can enjoy it. And then it gets worse and worse down here. I mean, I'm not Canada. It's really just from down here. There's something wrong with that. That's not a system that's working. And it forces people to do cruel things to other people. There's a lot of people that die so Americans can be safe.
That was some C.K. Louis C.K., a comedian from the Revolver. What do you say to that, Hake?
I remember when this went viral, I covered it once on my show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this guy... He is not a Christian, I don't think. And he is not manly either in his thinking.
But
he's more of like a spread the misery type of a person.
It sounds like that.
That's what socialists
See how
are
people
about.
love their misery?
Yep.
It's like it's too nice to have American taking care of American, building America. We got to make it bad.
Force the others to get their act together, not enable them to spread their mess over here. I'm shaking my head.
At first, I thought it was a joke.
No.
Because it says that he's a comedian.
He is, yeah.
How do you know he wasn't joking about that?
Because he is an emotional, angry, openly nasty person.
Oh,
he hates Trump.
Oh, yeah?
As I recall.
I've never heard this guy.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm aware of.
Yeah. He's like red-haired, but he's not like a normal white. I think he might be Jewish. But he is crazy.
It sounds like if he's serious about this, he's totally insane.
Yeah.
No, totally insane.
And a lot of comedians like to get into their head and thoughts and think about stuff and flip things, invert logic. So that's what
This person is insane.
Yeah.
But that's how all angry human beings are. They're insane.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. That's insanity, folks. That's an example of insanity. What it looked like. All right?
You have it too good. We need to bring you down a notch. You're too safe from crime. Everybody else has to die. It has to die.
That doesn't even make sense. But
I know that, and the reason that we're doing well in America is not because they're doing poorly.
Right. We ain't got nothing to do with their problems. Their problems are their problems in their country, and it has nothing to do with us at all.
Not the normal people.
Zero.
You could say, oh, the government is meddling over there and causing problems over there because the U.S. government does meddle and give
Other
stuff
people
and enable
business.
stuff. Yeah. But that has nothing to do with us.
Right. Joel said, if we could jail one person from freedom of speech, it should be him. It's him.
Indeed.
And then I want you to respond to this, and then I got to move back to the callers. I want all of you to respond to this. This is so interesting what I'm about to share with you. I don't know where. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't have where it come from. Let me reboot my machine here. My fault, because I don't know. This Jordan Peterson thing, I don't know where that came from. One moment, my fault. Are you black?
Oh no, it's there. I think
I had to update my computer. Nick gave it to me.
Okay.
It's not. It just said I didn't update.
Because it says in the paragraph above. I'm looking at the packet too.
This is how you drop addition. Know what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson previously was a previous guest on the
radio show, actually.
It was on the radio show, but we played it on my Father's State show last Friday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the Father's State, but I played it on a replay on the Father's State. And Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, and he has a discussion about vices with Matt Fradd, host of
Yep, that's the show.
Host what's that?
Pints with Aquinas.
What?
It's the name of a show.
Pint with Aquinas?
I think that it has to do with beer. It's kind of like, because a lot of those old Christians, I think he was like a monk or something. He was a very smart, intellectual, academic, Thomas Aquinas.
I'm being told it's a prominent Christian/Catholic podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Nice. Okay. I never heard of it before, but right on. So this is from YouTube. Jordan Peterson give his solution on how to stop indulging in adult content. Watch this. I hope it
I
cleans.
have worked a lot with people who are trapped in pornography and want to be free.
Mhm.
I would love your advice here. 2 questions. One would be, why should young men quit porn? And then what's your advice to young men who feel like it's just inevitable? Like I started when I was young. I've tried all the tricks and tips. I don't know how to stop. I keep promising myself I'll
You
stop,
can't
only to
stop.
go back
You
like a
can't
dog towards
stop.
a vomit. So first
You
of all,
never stop.
why should they think about quitting porn first of all? 'Cause I
Well, no
guess-
one ever quits anything. They replace it with something better. Most reliable cure for alcoholism is religious transformation. And that's been known even among the secular, what would you say, psychiatrists for like 80 years. You need a replacement. So I would say to young men who are listening to this podcast, for example, if you want to stop engaging in a self-destructive, impulsive, and juvenile habit, whatever it is, make a plan.
You say?
Make a plan, did he say?
He said make plans if you want to stop juvenile behavior. Make plan. What do you say?
It's interesting. He did say that you replace it with something else.
Right.
And a lot of the alcoholics turn all like Christian, turn all like born again. And they do, but they become like angry and over aggressive, and you can't really get along with them. He kind of knows that fallen state human nature and how you can fix yourself and still stay in that fallen state a little bit. You can fix some of your physical habits a little bit. And you'll hear different people say, like one of your other former guests about the porn thing, he doesn't even look at that stuff. And when you look at it, it's like it's not as big of a deal. He won't even let himself look at it. Who was that said that? But it was a guest on your show.
Okay.
Yeah. Roosh was on your show and said that.
Okay.
And so...
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Right on, Jordan B. Peterson. Except I didn't really like that blazer.
Was that a Catholic blazer? I thought it was a Catholic design. Looked like it had Catholic stuff
Yeah, it
on
has like Catholic comics on it.
Right.
Like a collage.
Nice. Number one, in order to overcome adult content, is that you got to stop identifying with it. You got to stop. Number one, don't even try to overcome it. Don't identify with it. Don't call it you, and it will disappear. But if you go and find something else, like let's say you're doing the adult content, and then you start drinking as Hake used, that's not going to make you better. You just went from one thing to cover up what's wrong to another thing. That's not going to make your situation better at all. You got to face it, but don't fight with it. Don't identify with it. Because the adult content is not the problem. It is keeping you from facing the real problem. It's not the problem at all. It's like smoking pot. Smoking pot is not the problem. The reason you smoke pot is the problem. And the reason you smoke pot in the same way with adult content is because you don't want to face the problem. You won't deal with the reality of what's really wrong. And that's why. Amazing. Here's from YouTube, Jordan Peterson. Jordan explains his online program that encourages you to envision a future self. Watch this.
We have a program online at selfauthoring.com called Future Authoring. It's like it helps you make a vision. So you're ashamed of yourself for some reason. That's why your conscience is calling at you. You know you're taking the easy way out. Okay. What are you being called to? Why are you plagued by doubts about the appropriateness of your behavior? Well, because something is beckoning to you. Well, what? An unrealized vision. Picture yourself 5 years out, and you've let your bad habits take full control, but you're 5 years older. Right. So what does that look like?
Yeah.
Well, it should
Not
be
good.
scary. Like, what's the little hell your whims are aiming at?
Mm-hmm.
So what are you? You're the 35-year-old creep at the bachelor party who's still involved with pornography, who still has the mind of a 16-year-old and is getting kind of perverse around the edges because everything he watches is getting a little more brutal, right? You're that kind of scum rat creep. That's your destiny. You want that?
You say?
I remember when you interviewed him, he talked about his self-authoring thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he talked about that website thing where you kind of plan out what you think that you want in your future. It sounds like he's trying to put fear in you. and it sounds judgmental.
So he's telling the people to envision themselves 5 years from now?
Yeah.
He said to envision yourself? But how can you do that when there is no 5 years from now?
The only thing that I grant him as like a nice point is that with your habits establish where you end up. Your current habits, what you're into,
right?
It establishes kind of where you end up if you end up at all. Like you don't even know if you're going to live tomorrow, right? But you end up messing up yourself.
What? And you're right in that. He's right, and I guess that's what you said. He said, I think. He's right in that. I don't know what he's right about. Say that again. Because how can you even God said think not about tomorrow? It doesn't even exist.
Right.
So how can you think about 5 years from now and fix yourself?
What he just said right there was not what you want to be, but what you are if you stay on the path that you're on, what you will be. So he's encouraging you. In my opinion, he was kind of encouraging you not only to judge yourself in the present, but to judge yourself in the future if you stay with what you're doing in the present.
And then how would that help you overcome them?
It'll scare the HE double toothpicks out of you.
Which would make you worse.
But if you can kind of envision nice things and stuff that you want to do, then maybe you can have a goal and start making a plan and following that plan.
But making a goal is not going to help you overcome those kind of situations.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Let me see what Montel said. It's a writing exercise that basically asks you lots of questions about what you want in the future. That's what his program is about? It's a writing exercise?
According to him, yes.
But how do you know what you want in the future? We don't know what we want at all. We have no idea.
It's what you think that you or feel like you want. Whatever, man.
No, I'm just asking.
No, you're asking and laughing. And
no, I'm laughing at the way you respond.
All right.
But when you don't know what you want, how can you write what you want?
But you write what you think you want, and then sometimes people get great things, and even in the fallen state, achieve great things.
No one get anything great from thinking.
I know, but they make Facebook, they make Google, they make airplanes, there's all kinds of cool stuff.
But that's just tools,
right?
Okay, and then last but not least, so you can't envision what you want when you don't know what you want. And all thoughts are all lies all the time.
Yeah.
The only time you can do something like that is, let's say you want to build a house, and you want an 8-bedroom home, and you want it designed in this way. You use that for that purpose.
Yeah.
But once the house is built, that's it. You still got your problems.
True.
Right?
Yeah, although some of the habits that you break...
And maybe that's what he's saying.
I think it kind of is, and also like different habits that you do can... add to your miseries. You can have even like worldly habits. You can have habits that are better than other habits. It's true. It's a fact.
Right. Why are you laughing?
Because you're laughing at me.
I'm laughing with you.
Nice.
Nice. Last but not least, this is the last one from Jordan Peterson on YouTube. Here's where George says channeling negative emotions is useful to avoid the problem. Watch this. I've not heard these before that I remember. Go ahead.
Right, you need both of those. That's why in the archetypal realm, the moral landscape is anchored with heaven and hell. You need something to run the hell away from.
Yeah.
Right? Because that avoidance motivation, all that negative emotion, that's really useful.
Okay.
Like anger's part of that too.
Yeah.
You want to have that
Motivate
behind
you.
you.
Yeah.
Damn right. You want your fear, you want Satan behind you, pushing you forward.
Okay.
Right? Exactly. Not in front of you, barring your way.
But there needs to be something to run to.
Well, that's the other thing, is that gives you incentive pleasure, and that's exactly what drugs do. That's also what pornography does. Like technically, you experience a dopaminergic release in relationship to a goal. And when all the drugs of addiction produce dopaminergic release, all the bad habits, right? You got to replace that. Well, with what? Movement towards a valid goal. Well, what's your goal? What do you want in a relationship? Like if you could have what you wanted, what would it look like? Think about it, vision it, envision it, imagine it, let it reveal itself to you. Yeah. You know, how could you serve your community? Flesh it out.
I want to interview Peterson again.
Nice.
What do you say to that?
I was cracking up because guess that's a Catholic podcast host talking to him.
Right.
And he's like, yeah. Yeah.
No, it's not
Matt Frad, I guess that was. That's scary. I think that's why this guy's had so many different issues, partly. Because he's had a lot of issues that he's gone through.
Right.
Jordan Peterson.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think he's out of it yet, out of his hell yet. He doesn't seem I don't get a feeling of peace and calm and real confidence when I'm hearing him rattle this stuff off. He's talking about manipulating your fallen state self to make the best out of it, which it's okay in like a worldly sense, but it's not. It's just basically still miserable, and you're headed for trouble. And he's talking about having this. He's talking about listening to the father of lies.
Yep. That advice is so bad and so wrong. And I understand he's intellectual. He's doing his best. Yeah. I do understand that. But that information is so wrong that will only get you deeper into hell. You ain't going to find heaven in that at all. It's going to only get you deeper into hell. That's too bad, but I understand. But that is insane. All emotions are evil and not necessary. Those so-called good emotions that make you feel good and those so-called bad emotions that make you feel bad are all evil and not necessary at all. And the last but not least, and I got to move on here, is that there is no you to, what do you say, envision the future? There is no you to envision the future. If there's no you to envision the future that doesn't exist, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And if you go into the mind to think that if you in the mind envision the future, you're worshiping the devil. It's all an illusion. That is, I want to use the word horrible, but I know it's horrible. It's evil. It's pure evil. He's doing his best, but it's pure evil. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. And the treasure chest is now open on D Live. And I'll be back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, welcome back. 888-775-3773. The Hake Report coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake, H-A-K-E Report.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then after the Hake Report, the FortheState.tv put together some really, really good stuff because I didn't get a chance to record any new shows this week. But the Lord is willing and the creek don't run. We'll have some next week. The Father's Day at 12 noon. I think you're going to love this, really. At 12 noon Pacific time. And at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. At 4 p.m. Pacific time. Normally, the American Anchor Baby is at 12 noon, but on Fridays, it's at 4 p.m. All right, so check it out. Flying high off of natural energy from God at 5. And then Sunday morning, fellowship for all, for everyone. If you're in the L.A. area, near the L.A. area, you're visiting. We need a lot of people from out of town, too. Out of the country, out of town, out of the country. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. And it starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Doors open at 10:30. 11 a.m. the meeting starts Pacific time. 11 a.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. Eastern time. All right? So get ready. Let me go quickly to the phones here. It's amazing. Let me go to Ash out of Lithuania. What's that? Lithuania. William, out of the world. On the other side of heaven. Ash, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on, Mr. Jesse?
All is well, Ash.
So,
where are you calling from?
Lithuania.
Whoa.
It's
heard
like
around the world.
Absolutely. So I heard the woman earlier today. She was talking about, she noticed that a lot of older black men were calling into the show arguing and basically complaining how the white man destroyed their lives and all this kind of stuff. And it was funny when she said that because I had been noticing the same thing. There's like a trend going on. And I also noticed that younger black men tend to be more conservative when they call your show. So I've been kind of contemplating that for the past couple of weeks with callers like Reggie and Jason. I don't know if Jason's called in a while, but I think I have a theory on what is going on. Have you ever heard of the term cognitive dissonance?
I've heard it before. What does it mean?
It's basically holding two opposing ideas at the same time. And so a lot of these guys will call in and they will blame the state of black America or all the things going on with black people. They'll blame it on white people, right? They'll blame it on the white man. They'll mention things like they killed Emmett Till or they bombed Tulsa. They'll blame slaves. They'll blame things that happened hundreds of years ago that have nothing to do with them.
Right.
And at the same time, so the opposite side of this is that at the same time, they think the answer to solve all these problems is also white people. They want white people to give them money. They want white people to give them opportunities. They want white people to give them jobs. They want white people to give them land, whatever. So they're holding these two ideas in their head at the same time. White people are the cause of all their problems, and they are also the solution to all their problems.
Very
so
interesting, man.
And that's the idea around cognitive dissonance. And the reason they cannot give up this idea about the white man blame or the white man caused all their problems is that if they do that, they have to ask themselves the question why their lives have not gone the way they wanted to.
Yeah.
They have to take responsibility for why their lives have not gone the way they wanted to. So they have to blame somebody for that. They cannot for a second say, I am the cause of why my life has ended up the way it is. And the thing about that is they can't take responsibility. And for human beings, there's only two groups that don't have to take responsibility. That's children and pets.
Yeah.
Children are not responsible for their behavior because their parents are responsible. And pets are not responsible for their behavior because their owners are responsible for their behavior. But adult men are responsible for everything that happens in their lives. And these older men do not want to accept that responsibility.
Adult
so that
men
was just
and
an
women.
observation. Exactly.
Ash, that is all the way from Lithuania. That is powerful and absolutely makes sense. And it's clear and it makes sense. The thing that surprised me about black men complaining about the white man is that when I was growing up, I can honestly tell you, I've never heard men, period, complain about other men keeping them away from anything, away from jobs, away from home, away from anything. And men, if they felt that way, their ego would not allow that to be out there. They would not say that kind of stuff because in reality, men knew that nobody can stop you from anything if you really wanted to do it. You are in control of your life, right? And so when I first heard black men complaining about the white man, I was stunned. It took me a while to get used to it because I'm thinking, you guys are like males, you're men. How are you complaining that another man can keep you back or keep you down, and you're saying it out loud where the women and everybody else can hear that you're a weak, pathetic man complaining that somebody can keep you down? It was new to me to hear men complain like that. I never heard men like that growing up before. And I don't have that type of mentality because my parents, my father, my stepfather, my grandfather, my uncles, and other men around me, I never heard them complain like that.
Of course. And the other thing I noticed is that a lot of the black women who call into your show, they seem attracted to you. It's very rare that I hear a black woman call into your show and complain about something. She's usually complimenting you and almost seems to be physically attracted to you. And I wonder if these older black men realize that there's a lot of women out there who are yearning for this more masculine characteristic of somebody who doesn't complain, somebody who is in control of their own life and makes their own decisions and sets their own path in the world. It seems to me like these guys aren't picking up the hint that maybe they need to change their way of thinking.
They're not picking up the hint, that's for sure. But I wonder how they sleep at night. I wonder how they go through their days thinking that some other man, white, Jewish, Chinese, Japanese, Mexican, whatever. How do these black men rest knowing that they believe that some other man or woman, but some other man can keep them down? I don't know how they live with themselves like that. I just don't know how. I don't know how to think that way. But you laid it out very, very well. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And I got a real quick one, because it's get it off your chest. And I know you get asked a lot, what is a Christian? And I have a very easy, simple, quick answer for anybody who gets asked this question. And it's a Christian, if somebody asks you that, say, I am a follower of the teachings of Jesus Christ, whose teachings are outlined in the Gospels and the Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And that's it. That's all you have to say. I follow the teachings of a man who lived. His name was Jesus, and I follow his teachings.
Amazing.
You don't need, like, and everybody tries to say all this, I have a personal relationship, and my personal Lord and Savior, and the blood and all this. It's too much.
It's in the blood. Thank you, Ash. I appreciate your call.
Brother. All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Amazing. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. And if you're black, everybody and their mama. But if you're white, everybody and their mama. Let me go to Charles, a first-time caller out of Indiana. Charles, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, thank you very much for taking my call.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
So I don't agree with anything that the last caller said. I think that you were basically just obliging to him, and that's fine. I think he just rambled on. I don't think he was from Lithuania. I think he was a troll. But with that...
Charles, see you later, buddy. You making all those assumptions about that guy. You don't know anything about him. Let me go to... it's HANI, I believe. HANI. A first-time caller out of Canada. Thank you, Charles. Let's see. HANI, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hey, HANI.
Oh, my God. This is incredible. Sorry, I'm just starstruck right now. Anyway, I just wanted to call to thank you for, first of all, taking my call. And, like, every single thing that you say is true, as it turns out. And you completely changed my life. My ego died in February of last year, and then I was able to go and forgive my parents and return to my father in October of last year.
Amazing.
And, oh my God, that has been amazing.
Amazing.
And I have you to thank for that. And you're right about everything you say about, and I'm very sorry about what's happening to your country and this country. I lived in the Middle East for many years, and of course these countries are just, it's not even comparable how much better they are. But what's happened here is just unreal, and it's very sad. And you're right, everything you say is right. People listen to their emotions, and they're just worshiping at the altar of Satan.
Yep.
And it's just widespread all day, everywhere you go.
It's a mess. It's the problem of all human beings.
Every place where humans are, it has nothing to do with race, language, religion. Right. Every single place where humans exist, they should all do what it is that you say. Family is the most important thing, and that's why the society is just, it seems like it's crumbling. And
you're welcome, buddy. What did your mother say when you went and forgave her? How did she respond?
What do you think she said?
She had a hissy fit.
She said, I don't have to answer to nobody but God. I knew what she was going to say, and it really was scary, even though I knew everything that would happen. I don't know why it was so overwhelming to do it, but anyway, it passed, and even my relationship with her is completely different. After I did that, she's changed completely. But the best gift was being able to return to my father and then also see the truth.
Yeah,
the emotions and everything that people are engaging with and answering to and that's guiding their lives, it's all evil, like you say.
Yeah.
And you can't even say it out loud these days. They've weaponized words. We're in a country where we're supposedly free, and the white people, they're not scared. Well, they are scared. They're cowards. Even white people here.
Yeah.
How the hell are you letting these people do this to your country? And Justin Trudeau is the devil, and we need to get him the hell out of.
I know.
It is insane.
Yeah.
It is insane. I cannot believe it. I was gone from here for 12 years straight. I came back in 2022, and it feels like I've been gone for 100 years, but backwards. It's unreal.
Amazing. Well, I appreciate that. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay
Can I
on
ask
that
you a
straight,
question?
and it only get better. Go ahead.
So you're right. You have to speak up, and you can't just see wrong and not say anything.
Right.
But in the context of my work and my career, let's say I work in a place where there's a lot of wrongdoing all over, but it pays well, and I have to, do the man thing and support myself. Like, how do I deal with that struggle of seeing it all day and speaking up as much as I can? And then I realize when I speak up, it's like I'm the problem.
Okay, at work, don't do it. You're at work to earn a living. You're not there to save souls. You're not there to correct people. You're there to earn a living. So earn your living and go your way and let the people suffer.
Thank you, and God bless you and your team. God bless you.
Yeah, but do not do that on your job.
Oh, by the way, it's relevant that I'm Palestinian. And you're right. You shouldn't be meddling over there. And you're right to leave them to their devices. And whatever happens should happen.
That's
it should take the course that it takes. Evil is evil. It doesn't matter what side it comes from. And you should not take sides in these stupid things.
Absolutely,
There's a reason
man.
these things happen to Arabs and the Allahu Akbar countries. There's a reason. And you should just let it happen to them. You should let them live their hell just like you tell us to do with people around us. You should let those countries stay in their hell, and it's none of your business or ours.
100%. Amazing. And that's how you are at work, too. And don't you let them argue, let them do what they say, let them talk about politics, let them talk about religion. You're there to do a job because they would turn on you. They see the light in you. They'll hate you for it because the darkness in them will hate the light. So don't do it at work, man.
No, I'm going to stop. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear.
All right, buddy. Call me again. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
All right. Amazing. Bye now. They're waking up all over the world, even Allah people. Anyone that want to wake up, you can. But you got to want it as an individual. You can't bring anyone along with you on this straight and narrow path. This journey must be traveled alone. And you must be willing to leave everything, everybody, and everything behind. As he said to the rich young ruler guy, Christ, how can I follow you? I have everything. What do I need to do to follow you? He asked. Ask. He said, do you really want to follow me? Yes, I have everything. What can I do? Forget about mama, forget about daddy, forget about children, forget about places, forget about things, forget about you, and follow me. He's like, what the? Is you crazy? I can't do that. Forget about sex, forget about your woman, and follow me. Is you crazy? And he dropped his head and went away. Unless you're willing to do that, you ain't gonna make it. It ain't gonna happen. You can only love the truth along with nothing else or nobody else or nothing else first. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work. It just ain't gonna work. It's up to you. Super chat. Super.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Justin says, Jesse, they used to make good stuff for kids. I watched Hansel and Gretel yesterday with my kids. The wife was evil. Lady in the Woods was evil. And when the dad listened to the woman, he suffered. In the end, the children returned to the father. He kicks the stepmom out, and the dad is the hero. They don't make him like that anymore.
They don't. Amazing. Deep. Thank you.
Nick LeBoy, generous donation on a Rumble rant.
Thank you. You got to know how to rumble.
Want to say thank you for all you do. If it wasn't for God working through you, my life would still be a mess. Thank you for lifting my closed eyes. 10 days left until White History Month. What the?
White History Month is in July. Get your shirts. Go to rebuildingthemand.com/store or julyfeelswhite.com. julyfeelswhite.com. All right? Don't be saying, well, I didn't know you had the shirt. The shirts are there if you want them by July. You better order now. All right, that way because everybody and their mama ordering them. Thank you.
Cheesy P bought a coffee, and I'm censoring it a little bit. It's a little bit vulgar. He says, I grow cheese to protect myself from a circumcision, Jewish circumcision, he says.
What?
Don't ask.
No, but what?
He says, I grow cheese to protect myself from a mitzvah, Jewish circumcision.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Cheesy P, for the donation.
Yeah.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, am I wrong when I say...
Am I wrong?
That it's easy...
I'm trying to be all that I can be.
That's 11 years old, by the way, that song.
No. Am I wrong? Go ahead.
Am I wrong about what I say, that it's easy for elites like that comedian who don't live in the hood like I do, who have to worry about the illegal aliens? Imagine if illegal aliens actually were sent to gated communities. You see how that Martha Vineyard citizens were overreacting to Governor DeSantis sending the illegals to them.
So, might want to know if he's wrong for living in the hood. Yeah, get out of the hood, Mike. What the? Thank you.
Well, you're saying it's easy for comedians like that Louis C.K. to say, oh, we have it too good over here.
Oh, I didn't know where that guy was coming from, Mike. That's insane what he was saying. I almost think he was joking.
What the?
Because he's a comedian, I'm told. I don't think he really meant that. I think he was joking. He had to be joking. Let's say he was joking, Mike. I don't want to deny reality, but it's hard for me to believe he really think that way. Thank you, Mike. You're not wrong. Believe me.
R. Scott 5 says, my fat house cat, or R. Scott 5 says, my fat house cat got out today. We found him trapped under a tree 4 hours later. I stayed calm thanks to the silent prayer, knowing he belongs to God, and I'm just his caretaker. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you. He did?
No, I think he was fine. He was just trapped.
Oh, he did trapped but not died.
Didn't say anything about dead.
Oh, okay. Why did he say belong to God?
Because everything belongs to the
Oh,
Lord.
I see. Right on. Thank you. Thanks for your support and stay calm in all things.
Amazing.
In all things. Thank you.
Lily Poo with a couple
I'm
of...
glad he's not dead. What the?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Cats, don't kill cats. Lily Poo, 2 Rumble rants. What does the Great White Hope have to say today?
Let me check. I'm glad you asked.
ISIS has spread like cancer.
I rest my case.
I inherited.
Another mess.
Another mess I inherited. Thank you.
Lily Poo says Proverbs 11:2. With pride, shame will follow.
Amazing. Thank you. That's deep.
Urinal Chill says Louis C.K. got money, wants to talk mess about how good America has it. Go do shows and give your money or live in an unhappy place if he doesn't like it here.
That's a good point. If he's so that unhappy about it, our country would be better and better. Take your little money and go to their country. Don't hope for them to come here. You go to them and see what happens. Amazing. Thank you.
All right, Hernandez the 4th, 10 coffees, very generous, no message.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And shout out to the top contributors over on the D Live crew. Always cool. Aries 1, Games for Rec, Cactus Eater Bear, Kid Combo 1, and the rest of the supporters. Thanks as always. And thank you guys. I do believe that is all. Oh no, someone with an answer to the biblical question, 5 coffees.
Why do you carry out the works of the flesh?
Carrying out woman's God. Women are evil and can't control the flesh. Working on myself still. Thank you, Jesse and team. You guys are amazing.
Repeat that.
Carrying out woman's God.
What does that mean?
Women's God. Women are evil and can't control the flesh. Working on myself still, says this someone.
I don't quite know what that means at all, but thank you. And I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, and thank you guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Hake Report is coming up next. Let me see what Bella has to say. A first-time caller out of California. Bella, real fast.
Hi.
Hey, Bella.
Hey, how can Satan be a god? He can't create anything.
Because the women make him their god by obeying him.
But he still can't be a god.
If in your mind he is, though.
The what?
In your mind he is God.
In nobody's mind. Like, he can literally not create.
But he, in the mind of women who believes him, he became their God. Bella,
only women?
No, anyone that believe in him, anyone that believe the imagination, Satan is their God. But it comes through the woman.
Okay, so you two.
Call me Monday. Will you call me Monday?
Sure.
And I'll take your call as soon as you call in.
Sounds good.
About the time. Call me Monday, Bella. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Hake Report, and then Fallen State at 12 noon. And then the American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. Get on the straight and narrow. Do what you want. But I recommend, if you want life and not death, get on the straight and narrow. Forgive your mothers. Forgive your grandmothers. Forgive your fathers. And you'll return to God. He will change your heart. All right. To the callers, Juan, Frederick, and the callers just dropped. I'm out of time. Amazing. Open Line Friday. Do the silent prayer. Be still and know God. Be quiet. Shut up. Be still and just observe. You want to observe life, not create life. Observe life. You're not the creator. You're not God. I know a lot of you think you are, but you're not. You want to let life happen. You can't make anything. Don't try to make a relationship happen or anything. Let it happen. All right, bye, y'all. Thank you. Amazing.
You must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom comes.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer.
I know some people have called in and they wonder if the silent prayer is working. And I just want to take a second and to tell them that it works. You just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I started doing before I even forgave my parents. And I was so depressed and suicidal at some times that I just would have to stop in the middle of my job or whatever I was doing and go into the silent prayer. And it really does help. Like, I don't have those anymore.
Amazing. You haven't seen anything yet. Doubt every thought. Bring every thought into captivity. Just let them all pass. Don't judge them. You haven't seen anything. It gets better and better and better and easier, easier, easier. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.